So here's my drawing, and I'm going to show you how to make a concave piece. So it's going to go in. So when you're doing the concave piece, I am going to cut out, I made this a little low, but I'm going to cut out the smallest part first. Okay, so the smallest part is number 5. This is just for concave because it's the opposite when you're doing convex. So when you're cutting out with a knife, you should hold it like a pencil, and you should turn your paper as you're cutting so that it's comfortable. So you're always kind of going at a 45-degree angle. And then you can just kind of turn your paper as you cut, so you're not contorting your body into some strange twist. Yeah, I didn't draw this perfectly, but there is the first hole. Okay, so here we're making a bunch of holes. We're not making a bunch of shapes that we're going to stack on top of each other. So my very first piece is going to be, the bottom layer is going to be a plain sheet of paper. So this is layer 1. Okay, so the hole I just cut out was layer 5. Actually, you know what? I numbered these incorrectly because I was going to do this as a concave. So let me just go back and tell you that those numbers are incorrect. This was layer 1. This is layer 2. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5, because 5 is the highest. And we're doing a concave piece. Okay, so I need to cut out the hole in this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I'm going to trace around the hole that I cut out in my paper. And you really want to set your drawing up in the center of your paper neatly, because that's where it's going to end up. And you're using this paper as a guide. So it's all going to line up. Every time you cut one out, everything's going to stack the way that you have it drawn. Okay, so now I'm going to draw, I'm going to cut out this heart. So for everything that you do, you're cutting it out twice. And I'm going to cut out on the outside edge of my pencil mark so that it doesn't show. If it does, you can always erase it, but sometimes it still shows up. So you want to cut it out. So notice that I'm cutting and I'm turning my paper rather than trying to twist around. And then I've cut the first hole. I can just kind of poke the knife in and grab it, right? Pull it out. That's the first piece. So here's my bottom layer. And there's my second layer. To glue it on, we're going to use glue stick. I changed my mind about this because the Elmer's just, it wrinkles the paper. So I already cut some pieces of these little pieces of cardboard. Okay, so you're just going to cut little strips of cardboard out. And then you're going to use little tiny squares to glue. So for this, you want to get a good amount. So just open your glue stick and just scrape a little bit like you're getting a little butter for your bread. And just butter that with a nice good glob so it sticks, okay? And you want to put the first pieces around the outside of the hole so that that part rises up nicely. Okay, I'm in the middle of a video though, so okay, I'm getting a new filter. So then you're going to spread that on there and just lightly press, but don't press too hard because this corrugated cardboard has like a little center on it. And if you smush it, then it flattens it out. And then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of trying to make something 3D. So I'm just scraping a little bit of the glue stick because you want to get, you know, a good little bit there so that it doesn't fall apart. So that I have it around that small hole, and you're going to do that with all your pieces. And so then you're going to take and you're going to put some on the outside edges. So if you're looking at your phone, you're not watching what I'm doing, and you're not. So my glue, this little knife that I have is all gunky with glue, and so just put a piece of printer paper on the middle of your table and just set it so that you can set your knife. I'm just setting it off to the side here, but you can set your knife on it without getting it all over the table. So I'm lightly pressing these, and now I need to put glue on the backs of them. Okay, so I have to glue both sides. So I'm just going to spread a teeny little bit of glue on each one of these pieces of cardboard. So these little pieces of cardboard are the risers that are going to make this stand up off of your paper. And it's just going to stick them up just enough so that it gives it some height. All right, you're going to flip that over and you're going to line it up with your first page. And then you're just going to lightly press in the places that you put the glue. And now I have a little hole there. And then I just keep going. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 levels so you understand how this process works. Okay, so that's level 1 and level 2. I'm going to set that aside so I can do my next level. I'm going to take my paper and I need to cut out that second one. So every time that you do this, you have to cut out twice. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out, turning my paper with my knife. So the reason I want you to not look at your phones is so that you can watch everything that I do, so you can get these good quality tips about how to make it, like turning your paper. Because I'll come around and I'll see people like contorting their hands and twisting their bodies in all kinds of wacky ways. And it makes you make poor cuts. Okay, so that's level 2. And now I am going to get that next color. You can do it all the same color. You can do it different colors. There's not a huge selection. And what I have right now is what I have. So then you're just going to trace that hole that you cut out. Set that aside. And you're just going to keep on cutting out each hole. When you're doing the concave version, you're going to cut out each hole starting from the center. When you do the convex version, you're going to be doing the opposite. Okay, so there will be another video for that after second period. So every period gets their own little video, but you watch each other's videos. So you won't have to watch this one again unless you really need to see what's going on, but you should watch all 3. Okay, so I can just poke into that and pull it out. You can save it. As a matter of fact, you could make a convex piece just by saving the pieces. If you cut them out neatly, you can stack those and make something else. And it's Valentine's Day coming up soon, so if you wanted to do something like that, that would be cool. So here's my piece, and I need to stick. Did it go like this? No, it went this way. Okay, so it goes this way. So I need to flip it over and glue some more pieces. So I'm getting some glue stick, buttering up my little pieces. I'm going to put them close to the hole so that that part rises up off the paper really well. And then I'll just put them around the edge. You can put as many as you want, however many you feel like you need. But mostly you should start off with putting it around the part that you're really emphasizing, which would be this heart shape. Okay. I should probably put one right in that little dip. Maybe like that. And then you get a little glue stick and you butter this up. You don't need a lot. I mean, just enough so that you can kind of see it. But if you put too little, then it's just going to fall apart. Like I put too little on that little one with the mountains and it started falling apart. Okay, I need some on the edges to hold it up. And I can take this and push it out more to get it out. When your glue stick is empty, just throw it away. And if you need another one, just ask. I didn't put any on this. All right, I'm almost out of little cardboard pieces that I cut. So I'm only going to do the 2 levels, and I think you'll see how this is going. I need some on this corner. All right, and then I'm going to take my layer 1 and layer 2, and I'm putting layer 3 on there. Just going to center it over, and then I'm just going to lightly press on the places where I put the cardboard. And now you can see that it's starting to make this little hole, right? It's caving in. Okay. So maybe it has some sort of deep meaning. You could make it into a Valentine. It says, "You'll always be deep in my heart." So there we have the 2 pieces cut out, and then layer 1 is the bottom sheet. You want to let it dry, so you don't want to do what I'm doing here, but I'm just doing this so I can show you, right? But you want to, tap it gently on the places where you glued it, and then let it sit flat like this. Don't stand it up or turn it upside down or anything like that. And then basically you're just going to keep on going with that, that piece. I'll do one more. Because you're not going to really. I'll do one more. Okay. So I'm going to cut this last one. I'm just going to cut it, but I'm not going to spend a bunch of time gluing it. So I'm going to cut it. Cut out that heart. Oops, not sloppy. It's okay if you mess up on here. Well, it's okay if you mess up on the other one too. You can always tape it on the back. If you accidentally cut it, you can put a piece of tape on the back part so that you don't see the cut or the tape, and it'll be fine. So I know using an X-Acto knife is a skill, and it takes a little bit of practice to get good at it. Okay, so there's the center. And now I'm going to shape, use this to trace that. So see how I'm lining my white paper up against the piece of paper underneath? This ensures that it's going to line up on my, on the full sculpture. Because if I don't, then it's going to just end up being all over the place. And then the hole isn't going to be a nice neat hole that goes inward, right? Like in the proper concave way that it should. So I'm just going to cut this out and lay it on top so you can see just kind of the progression, but I'm not going to glue it. And then we'll just end the video. And then if you still need to do your drawings, you can do your drawings. Because number 2 is due today. But if you don't finish it, just try to finish it in the next day. Because tomorrow we'll just be starting doing this, and everybody will start working on with their colored paper. And I'll try to get more colors, see what Staples has available. Stop by there. Okay, so now I've got that piece cut out. And I'm not going to spend time gluing it because it does take a little time, right? You just saw how long it took. And but there's the next one, and that would be raised up a little bit, right? And you would see even more depth. So that's how that works. And hopefully you'll have lots of fun doing it. And again, like I said, you can always take the pieces and invert them. And this is pretty much how the convex piece works, right? You cut it and stack it, but you put something to raise it up, and then it will be it'll be three-dimensional. Always when you're done, close your glue stick. There's still plenty in there. Make sure you don't leave your glue sticks laying around without a cap. And that's all I have to show you.